Well, hello and welcome everyone. I'm Rebecca Gregory, Education and Technical Director for Simply Organic Beauty. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. At Simply Organic Beauty, our mission has always been to help grow salons for the better, and we feel that the Oway professional product offerings add perfectly to that mission. Sublime, multi-sensory hair treatments with essential oils, hydrolates, and pure micronized plants from biodynamic farming are just part of that Organic Way's sustainable luxury line. And we're so thrilled to share this color training with you today. So who says you have to choose between efficient and natural? The evolution of green chemistry shows that it's possible to obtain products that give excellent results which are produced without the use of harsh and toxic chemicals, through the use of naturally derived ingredients which are not only natural but improve hair structure from one application to the next. Pure oils, waxes, vegetable butters, and emollients are the key to effectiveness in this Oway brand. So as a professional distribution company, we feel as though it's an obvious fit to partner with a brand that also chases ideals, perseveres in making them happen, and markets them in transparency. So welcome to Oway Professional, the perfect answer to the balance between health, fashion, and beauty. Products that are also the complete balance of nature and effectiveness. The Organic Way, it's a way of improving the hair, giving the best results within a method. So as we progress through the webinar, I'm going to briefly discuss the elements that make the Oway brand so revolutionary in the beauty industry, such as the biodynamic ingredients involved, the green chemistry, fair trade network ideals, sustainable development, and the holistic wellness aspect to it all. Biodynamic ingredients, from farm to chair. These ingredients are grown on 50,000 square meters of chemical-free farmland in Bologna, Italy. I was able to visit the hills in Bologna where 12 different types of medicinal plants are grown and harvested, such as rosemary, lemon balm, sage, thyme, mint, and helichrysum. They are all processed without the use of chemicals and solvents. The biodynamic ingredients, we believe in the perfection of nature. And biodynamic is not just a farming method, but it's a lifestyle and a way of thinking applied to the production of all the essential oils, pure extracts, and hydrolates used in the Oway formulations. The principles of biodynamic: number 1, maintaining the soil fertility; number 2, keeping the plants healthy and strong so they can defend themselves from climatic adversity, pests, and parasites, but without the use of synthetic chemicals. 3, producing ingredients of the highest quality so that they're full of their purest functional active ingredients. Green chemistry, where Italian quality meets nature. Botanical ingredients, organic, biodynamic ingredient formulas are devoid of toxic aggressive agents. From medicinal plants and herbs grown on the biodynamic farms, the most precious essential oils are produced, and these become 100% of the natural active ingredients and fragrances. All the products of the Organic Way beauty line consist of a minimum of 98.8% active ingredients, oils, extracts, essential oils, emollients derived from natural, organic, biodynamic, and ethical origin. In fact, some of the formulas are even 100% naturally derived. Fair trade ingredients. Purchasing from fair trade networks, natural certified raw materials aid in the international development projects, which we believe in. The Organic Way has set up alliances with international fair trade purchase networks to support the development of poor countries in the world with the Organic Way products. Sustainable development. Sustainability. Glass bottles and jars and aluminum tubes are used to guarantee botanic extracts' pureness and respect for the environment. 85% amber glass. Organic Way is the first professional company in the industry to choose glass for all of its bottles and jars. Amber glass is able to protect the integrity and preserve botanical extracts, shielding them from UV rays, which also help in the protection against bacteria. The glass is 100% pure and thus cannot release toxins and does not contain harmful chemicals found in other types of packaging materials such as plastic. The color tubes are 15% aluminum and infinitely recyclable. They're resistant to corrosion and are extremely protective. Only 5% of the energy used to originally produce the aluminum is even used to recycle them. You'll never see any over-packaging because Organic Way uses eco-certified materials for reuse, and they minimize the impact on the earth in every way. Holistic wellness. Holistic is incorporating the concept of holism, or the idea that the whole is more than merely the sum of its parts, in theory or practice. Organic Way becomes more of a coloring wellness treatment, making the hair and scalp in better condition. And thus, holistic hairdressers, when you're choosing Oway, you choose to offer both beauty and wellness to your clients. So you're not compromising health or in gaining beauty for your clients. There's delicate aromas, and the reduction of chemicals in every service is a big treatment for the mind, body, and the hair. So now that I've shared some of the key elements that make Oway so unique, I want to dive into the professional no-stress hair color system, Hcolor. The first nourishing ammonia-free permanent hair coloring system with biodynamic and organic oils, activated with a fluid developer based on a lipe butter. This professional coloring system is a soft, permanent line that makes it possible to achieve shiny color results without the use of the harsh chemicals such as ammonia, and are perfect for the coverage of white hair. There are 89 shades, 6 boosters, and a bleaching booster available in an amazing range of rich colors that keep the hair soft and hydrated. The shades can be mixed together and blended for a variety of new colors, and you can easily achieve stunning results personal to every client you see. The Hcolor revolutionizes the salon color treatments with its fantastic active ingredients also. The organic Pyrrhia and ethical date oils protect sensitive scalps and give shine. The Biodynamic Hibiscus allows for an intense antioxidant action, and the cotton proteins increase the resistance of stress to the hair fiber. Pyrrhia is organic, soothing and calming for the scalp, has anti-aging properties to it, and is rich in fatty acids for added nourishment. Cotton protein allows the hair to have body and structure. It prevents any drying, and it has the ability to repair and restore that hair fiber while also allowing for softness and nourishment. The date oil is both nourishing and elasticizing, and Organic Way contributes to the economical safety of several families in the villages of Burkina Faso through the purchase of this raw material. The hibiscus extract I mentioned is biodynamic, is also a powerful antioxidant, and allows for protection from free radicals, external pollutants, and it also allows for strengthening the hair structure. Jojoba is an ingredient known for nourishment. It also allows the soothing of dry or very dry dehydrated hair. With the 18 amino acids it contains, it easily repairs damaged cuticle layers, and it's highly absorbed by the skin and hair, so it keeps the hair bulb very clean by dissolving any excess sebum. The wheat protein acts as a hydroregulator, keeping the amount of water in the hair consistent, even in the conditions of high external humidity, and it also improves the elasticity as its hair's mechanical resistance. So these are just some of the wonderful Hcolor active ingredients. Here we have a picture of the Pyrrhia for you, and it shows it's also rich in the nourishing fatty acids, the organic cotton protein, the biodynamic hibiscus we mentioned for the powerful antioxidant, also packed with a lot of vitamins, and the fair trade date oil we mentioned from the Burkina Faso community. Now we'll talk about the world of Hcolor using the color wheel. So Hcolor offers a range of 89 shades divided into the following 19 series. The number before the point is the level of the tone on the scale from 1 to 9. The first number after the point indicates the main highlight, and the second number after the point indicates the secondary highlight. When the numbers after the point are different, this indicates 2 highlights are together, with the first being dominant. When the numbers after the point are the same, this indicates a double intense highlight, so double pigment on that. So for example, you have a 7.46 red copper blonde. The level is 7, and the 4.6 being the primary highlight copper for the 4, and the secondary highlight 6 is red. So the combination of shades and the formulation are, you can personalize these colors, and they are perfectly calibrated. I think that's a big deal here. We have the 0.0, which are our natural series, 1 to 9. We have our natural ash series, which are the 0.01 with blue in them. The ash series are the 0.1. They are also more of a blue base. We have the blue-black series, 1.8, which is a wonderful reflection, perfect when you want to see a little bit of blue in that dark level at a level 1. We have the beige series, gorgeous 0.31 with a little gold and a little blue, depending on the level of how much. Then we have our golden series, the 0.3. We have our coppery gold series, the 0.34. A deep copper series, so a double copper, 0.44. We have the red copper series, 0.46. Our copper series, 0.4. We have our mahogany series, which are 0.5. The red mahogany, 0.56. Our red series, 0.6. And then we have a double red series, which are very intense at 0.66. We have our ruby red series at 0.62. Our double pigment purple series, 0.77. And then we have our mixed colors. These are a mix of reflections. The names give you the ideas of the hair color or the color pigment. And the numbers after the level are where the pigments are intermixed, almost like a true marriage of the two tones. Then we have our super bleaching series. We have the 90.1, which is our natural super bleach blonde. You'll see that in the center of the color wheel, showing that it doesn't have any tone to it. So when used on its own, you will see the natural tonal reflection at the level of lift that you've gotten to. But we do have the 90.1, which is our ash super bleaching blonde, the 90.2, the 90.3, which has the gold in it. So and we also have a few others that have been added. So if you're looking to really fight yellow, I typically would suggest the 90.11. The 0.2 almost gives you, it's called Iris A Super Bleach Blonde. That there, it gives you more of a light pink undertone, where the 0.7 is more of a violet undertone. Our 0.0 Super Bleaching Booster is there to give you an added level of lift. And then we have some correctors, our tone correctors, 0.1 being ash, 0.3 gold, 0.6 red, 0.8 blue. So I like how this color wheel is gradiated out, so you can see the levels as they lift out to the edges of the color wheel, and you see directly where they all fall. So I'll give you some ideas here of how to use these. Here's our Hcolor Dominant Tones chart, something I mentioned here a little bit, where the 1 is ash, 2 iridescent. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Our 3 gold, 4 copper, 5 mahogany, 6 red, 7 violet, 8 blue, and 9 green. When we were discussing our natural series a second ago, I want to make sure you consider neutral, neither warm nor cool. It's the neutral series with the organic Oway hair color. Is formulated in equal parts yellow, red, and blue. It's recommended for perfect gray or white hair coverage, and it can be mixed together with any of the reflex, the other tones, to increase gray or white coverage, as well as the boosters. For natural tones with more of a warm undertone, you might want to incorporate a small percentage of the golden or copper series to fill in that white hair and make sure you have all of that warmth necessary to make sure you don't have a flat color over white hair. The The 0.01, the natural ash, has a secondary ash highlight that gives a slightly cooler tone, and it's an excellent choice when a warm pigment is needed to be lifted out. So you're lifting from a warm pigment tone, and of course you always lift warm, red, orange, yellow, and so this would be perfect as an ash when you're looking to tone at a warmer pigment level being lifted. The Ash Series 0.1, it contains a lot of the blue pigments, so it should be considered a cool tone. It's really not recommended for gray or white coverage on its own, as it could just come out gray. It's an excellent series, though, to neutralize red or orange pigments, and it should look a little bit darker because of the coolness of it. And so obviously the cool draws your eye and makes things look a little bit darker. So just consider that. It may look a tone darker than the warm series. Our 0.3 beige series is it's a series with a secondary ash highlight to it that offers more of a delicate beigey shade. It can give you a total coverage of about 30% on gray or white hair. So that is a nice 0.31 beige. So it has a little bit of coolness and a little bit of warmth there. The 0.3 gold is good for achieving warm, radiant highlights. It's really good to mix with the natural series. This is going to give you wonderful coverage, and it's going to achieve a natural, really shiny effect on the hair because of that golden reflect. It'll make the hair even more intense in the shine factor. So this is a great add to our natural 0.0 series. Then the 0.34 copper gold. It's a combination of the primary golden highlights and a secondary copper highlight. So together this is a very intense warm golden series. The 0.44 are a double copper series, and they're very bright. Obviously, if they're double pigmented in the bright copper land, these are really fun for bright effects. And then the 0.46 red copper shades. The secondary red highlight is very intense, so it intensifies the copper you see, and so it also looks a little bit deeper because the red being before. Then the 0.4, resulting in the deeper highlight because you've got the red highlight intensifying that copper. Then the 0.4 copper shades, they are a series, they're a perfect combination of yellow and orange, so they're going to be very vibrant, very shiny, lustrous type of highlights. They will produce very beautiful effects on the color over natural hair types. Then we have the 0.5 mahogany series, red, violet highlights. It's best on tones, let's say from 4 to 6. The red mahogany, 0.56, that's a nice variation of mahogany highlights with a little bit of violet in there. So red variation, primarily mahogany with some violet showing through. Then the 0.6 red, it's a highlight of the series, are good for achieving really bright, long-lasting reds, but they can be mixed with other shades to obtain a warmer result. And then the double reds, the 0.6, double pigment, very intense, very bright, and then you can always consider adding more of your 0.6 tone booster to that, and that's going to be fire red. Then the 0.62, the Irisé Red series, it's a red-violet highlight. It's very intense, very vibrant. The 0.8 Blue-Black, it's a blue pigment offering that undertone of blue to your dark black series, level 1. And once again, the mixed tones, they are a special series where the primary and secondary highlights are just very mixed together, like hybrid effects. They have beautiful names to them, so you can describe the tones to your clients, whether it's you want a milk chocolate or a dark chocolate or red chocolate, cherry chocolate, whatever. When you're kind of describing, you can use some of these names in these fashion mixed tones, and they can be warm. They're wonderful highlights over natural hair types too, so it can be intermixed with any of your natural series as well, just to give some beautiful vibrance to the hair. So when you see our Hcolor swatch chart, these are very cool because the little cardboard swatches come out, so you can get a true level from your client before starting, so you really know where to go. And I find that they are extremely true to tone. So they're a beautiful, beautiful way of finding what level you're starting with and knowing really where you're going. They are perfect when you lay them in between each other and you can see a true mix of what you're going to get. So we've got the H+ tone boosters. These are wonderful in increasing tone, making things bright, or using them to control tone as well. If you're using them over gray or white hair, we suggest you use only 2 to 3% of your mix in that formulation. They are intended to enhance or cancel tones, used in 10 to 20% of your formula mix. And if you're looking for something ultra bold, you can add up to 50% of your mix. So as I mentioned before, when you have your 0.66 and you want to intensify it even more, adding some of your red boost at the 0.6. And this is all done before mixing with your developer. So these percentages you see on the screen are prior to the developer being added to your bowl. So our Fun High Lift Shades 90.0 series. The development time on these are 50 minutes to make sure you get your lift and tone. And I always suggest you use these on levels 6 and above. I suggest also that if you're lifting from a 6 and you want to get a lot of lift out of it, adding your 0.0 bleaching booster. This, however, is not a gloss. A lot of people see zeros as glossings that you can add to intensify shine and colors, but this is not a gloss. It's used to get you that additional shade of lift when you include up to 50% of the 0.0 in your formula. So it's intended for giving you that extra level of lift. And so let's say you're starting at a level 6 and you want to get a lot of lift. You want to get to maybe a 10, 11. This is when I would add up to 50% of my formula, the 0.0 bleaching booster. You can typically get 5 shades of lift with the 90.0 series. And let's see, you're also going to want to mix double 40 with that so that you get truly the amount of lift intended. You can get 5 shades, and that's including your double ash 90.11 when you're looking to fight a lot of yellow. So we wanted to talk about the 11.17. This is the perfect blonde toner offered by Organic Way. So it is a gorgeous, it has a lot of violet in it. It's perfect for making platinum. So anytime you've lifted and you need a tone, this is a perfect toner. We use it all the time in the salon, and it's going to balance out any yellow or blonde orange that you've lifted to. So I typically suggest you get at least to a 9, 10, but this will help to dilute any of that orange you're seeing after lifting. So Innovative Activators, phytobutter developers. This is the first coloring system, Organic Way, with this type of developer. These are not just oxidant activators, but they actually protect, nourish, and add shine to the hair fiber, allowing for more intense and bright coloring. When combined with the Hcolor, it's soft yet firm, sort of velvety mix, and it's created to be really easy to apply. I find that you're able to spread the color a lot further than ever before, so you're going to be using a lot less product, and this is a very creamy, soft, it's a lot softer and creamier than traditional activators, and it offers the wonderful active ingredients in it, offer added protection for the skin and hair. It's made without parabens, petroleum, pegs, mineral oils, or fragrance allergens, or artificial colorants. So beautiful, beautiful catalyst. So the Hcatalyst facts, it is a nourishing phytobutter, developer made in 20, 30, and 40 volumes. It's got the Alipe butter. So for years, Alipe has been known for its incredible moisturizing properties and for its ability to also restore elasticity to the hair and skin. It's extremely helpful in the treatment of dry, overprocessed, or dehydrated hair too. So it actually feels like you've gotten a treatment after you're done with the coloring system. The rice bran oil softens, moisturizes. It's rich in vitamin E. It's an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and it also helps to counteract free radicals, protecting the scalp additionally. So you're going to mix the Hcolor with the Hcatalyst, diluted to a ratio of 1 to 1.5, except in the event of more than 50% gray hair. Then I suggest you mix in a 1 to 1 ratio. One of the benefits of mixing the 1 to 1.5 when you are not concerned covering, let's say when you're coloring less than 50% white or gray hair, you are going to use less color, and you're going to find that you're going to get a lot less waste. You're going to mix a lot less, and you're going to get a lot further with your hair color. Here you see the 6% Activators 20 volume. You're going to get 1 to 2 levels of lift. This is perfect for your gray or white hair coverage on level at times for 30 to 35 minutes. No heat necessary here. The 9% is our 30 volume Hcatalyst, and it's going to give you approximately 2 to 3 levels of lift. And then once again, we're showing you here the 1 to 1.5 mix. You will time it for 35 to 40 minutes to get the proper lift value at 3 levels. Our 12% 40 volume, that's going to give 3 to 4 levels. And once again, we're showing you a mix of 1 to 1.5. And that timing is going to be 40 to 45 minutes. At the bottom, you see the Htone 9 volume. We're going to talk a little bit more here in a second. And once again, we show you that as a 1 to 1.5 ratio at 30 minutes timing. The Htone is a developer perfect. It's an ammonia-free tone-on-tone coloring, highlights, and contrasts. It's going to provide ultra bright color shades, and it will not lighten, so it can be used to offer coverage of gray hair, more of a blending effect. And it could be a perfect option for those clients with a low percent of gray that don't want a radical color change. They look for more glossing, demi, deposit, blending, and tone. Maybe they are okay with seeing a little bit of the sparkle of the gray or white hair in between. Very natural, very shiny effects. The tone-on-tone here, 9 volume, 1 to 1.5, and 30 volume. So you would still, with this, mix 1 to 1.5, even in the event of gray hair. It's just going to blend, give you some deposit, but not quite get far into the cuticle layer, so it's going to give you more of a glossy color treatment. I know a lot of people are looking for a glossing treatment, and this would be the way to go with that, using the Htone Nourishing butter developed for a demi deposit. To cover gray hair, we recommend applying the color to the back first using the Hcatalyst 20, 30, or 40. Start applying to the back first and proceeding to the front of the head shape, and if they're extremely resistant, I would suggest that development time being a little bit longer, such as 45 minutes, unless you're adding the Hypercolor, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. So gray coverage. There's a lot of developments. I'm getting 100% gray coverage, white coverage. It's the most superior gray coverage I've ever seen in my life, in my entire career, let's say. And I wanted to show you this gray coverage chart to give you a little more of a balance to know how much of each catalyst and in what ratios. So if you're looking at under 30%, you can mix in a 1 to 1 or 1 to 1.5. The timing is going to be 40 minutes. You're going to pick your desired shade, perhaps such as a neutral, a 0.0, and you can always add a little bit of the 0.3 gold to kind of fill in a little bit more, adding that natural warmth that white and gray hair seem to be lacking. But if you're looking at 30 to 50% of gray or white hair, that's when you definitely want to be 1 to 1 ratio, and you would be putting in the desired shade plus one of your naturals. Where under 30%, a lot of times you don't need to use one of the 0.0 natural shades. You can go right in with your desired shade. So up to 30 to 50% and over 50%, you're going to definitely want to add in some of that 0.0 natural shade. Sometimes if it's more than, let's say, 50% white hair where you have 0 pigment to the hair left, that's when you might want to consider going a level darker than the desired shade. But truly, the Oway hair color, Hcolor, seems to be true to level, true to tone. You can hardly make a mistake at all in your formulations. You're always going to get beautiful tones out of all of the shades. They're all intermixable. So you shouldn't have no problems whatsoever getting gray, 100% white gray coverage. So use this plan for this chart to plan your formulas, and you will always get the best results. So let's talk a little bit about the Buttercream Lightener, completely the world's first phytobutter lightener. Essential oils, it is remarkable. I can't say enough about this. It is so easy to use. The mix is just simply gorgeous. The biodynamic lavender oil is given for some protection to the hair and scalp, but I find that from scalp to ends of the hair, it is coming up all very even, very beautiful. The hair actually feels as though you've given it a treatment once you're done lifting, which is quite new to our market. The Elipe butter, it's actually, this one is different. I'm talking about the activator there. However, the butter lightener, it's not just that lightener, it's going to add softness, radiance without damaging the hair. It does have the kukui butter for the added protection. It contains a lot of vitamin A, C, E, and naturally antioxidant rich. It's especially suitable for people maybe with sensitive skin because the natural ingredients are gentle to the scalp, and it even ends up, the kukui butter is known to treat eczema or dry scalp conditions. So people that have typically had issues in the past, they're going to find that this is a gorgeous option for those clients. The Perilla date and lavender oils also provide nourishment. And you can use with the Buttercream Lightener, you can use heat to accelerate the process. Not necessary, but you can. Before toning the hair and after lifting, I would rinse with a hydrating gentle hair bath, such as the moisturizing hair bath, which lives at a pH of 5.8 to 6.3, and then rinse and proceed to your toning treatment. The maximum processing time really is about 50 minutes with the Buttercream Lightener, and like I mentioned, it is perfect for on-scalp, foil, cotton, saran, balayage, any type of application that you need to get lift. This is a perfect option for you. It will give you 5 to 6 levels, and once again, you can use gentle heat. You really don't need to max out that heat to get that a little bit of additional quicker lift, and you can use it to remove any old color. It's got a neutral, pleasant smell, and it's to keep it a nice, air clean salon. The consistency is just gorgeous. You have perfect control and streak-free lightening. So like I mentioned, all lightening scenarios from highlights to on-scalp services are perfect for this lightener. Best I've ever used. Now here I wanted to give you the steps to removing and lifting out cosmetic color. Let's say the old soap cap is the way I would compare this to. But this is a much gentler option for you. In step 1, you're going to take what's called the H milk no stress, and you're going to mix it with the H bleach 1:1. So equal parts there with the H milk no stress and H bleach. And then in step 2, you're going to add the Htone 9 volume, equal parts to that. Then you're going to apply to any of the sections. You can even spray the H Restore, the vegetable protein integrator spray, to the hair, and then you would put them under heat for 20 to 40 minutes. But you're going to watch it to see where you needed to lift to so that you can apply your desired color after. But first, before doing that, you'll rinse this off and use the H Balance shampoo that we'll talk a few minutes about here in a minute. And once again, you're going to follow with conditioning with the H Milk No Stress before applying your desired color and shade choice. So once again, this is similar to your old soap cap, but a much gentler, much nicer way to lift without compromising the hair. So H System is a complete system. It accompanies our color treatments in the prep, application, and post-color procedures. The H System is the line formulas offer advanced methods to allow the line to work at a low pH, and thus no stress to the hair cuticle. It's considered an integrated method that preserves and improves the hair structure, so it's going to make sure that the hair is left very healthy, nourished, and bright. So following this system, it's a complete holistic hair color system. We consider it the back bar. So whenever you see the pink labeling, that's going to show you that it's more of the H system, kind of your back bar pre-color, bleach color, and post-color to give you the best color results and experience possible. So we'll start with the H Restore. It's the vegetable protein integrator spray that I mentioned earlier. And it's got concentrations of protein, amino acid in the formulation, and it's going to help to rebuild the protein chains. You do not rinse this formula out. It's considered a porosity balancer, and it can be used before any treatment. Say you are doing a permanent wave, a relaxer, or any of your color treatments. If the hair needs a little bit of oomph or extra protein, just remember, color likes to latch onto protein. The molecules are attracted to one another. So having an ample or proper amount of protein, and this being a vegetable-based protein, much nicer to the hair structure. It allows for that color to lock on and last longer. So this can be used before or after color. Spraying in and leave it without rinsing out. So your pre-color tools, I would consider the Clarify and Protect. Your H-Tech shampoo is a great clarifying shampoo. Lathers perfectly well and has a lovely scent to it with the natural essential oils. It's great for resistant hair types, so gray resistancy. If you need to really kind of soften that cuticle additionally, you would want to use this H-Tech shampoo because it actually, the pH being a 9.5 to 10.5, it's really softening that hair best for you. And it also will gently remove any of the styling products or plastics or parabens that they've used maybe at home with some of their other styling agents before moving them into the Organic Way Natural series. So it's going to help remove anything, so any buildup, help to cleanse that hair very softly and gently. It's going to help with better penetration of the treatment it's prepped for too. So you apply it to wet hair, rinse, and then just go right in with your technical service. Now the H screen to the right here, it's a skin protecting fluid. It reduces any skin sensitivity, and it's a shield for sensitive spots. It is easily removed with water though, but it is considered more of a protective glove effect. It's got polysorbate, so the question has been, if this is protecting your hands or the scalp, or if you're using it instead of a barrier cream, how is that from keeping your color formula out of the hair? Well, the polysorbates work only on skin, not on hair. So it's a perfect protection for the skin, like I mentioned, as a barrier cream, or for your hands when you're like using them instead of gloves, let's say. Those are a few ways to use it, but it also has a lot of multiple benefits to it as well, such as you can use it for men after shaving to prevent folliculitis. And then if you add 3 to 4 drops into your formula mix, into your bowl, that will help to soothe the skin and protect it as well. So it's a lovely, lovely option for anybody that's got sensitive scalp, or maybe you have an area of the scalp that's been sensitized and needs to be protected. So H-Milk No Stress, we mentioned this in the soap cap part, but it also has a few other wonderful benefits to it. It's considered our protective conditioning milk, the pH being 3.2 to 4.2, very low. It can help to be that gentle decoloring formulation as the soap cap I mentioned. And you need to leave it in the hair, though, for about 2 minutes to work at its best. The ceramides and Amazon butter, it allows conditioning and it will not affect your results. So if you need to go right back in and tone after you've lifted, you can use the H-Milk No Stress, but it's going to allow for a lot of real great conditioning, but without protecting and protection without affecting that end result. On the right, you see the Hypercolor, one of my favorite tools in the salon, because it helps me to significantly reduce my development time. So adding that into my formula, I can reduce a 30-minute processing time down to 10. Or if I have somebody with very resistant hair and they typically would process for 45 minutes, I can reduce that to 15 minutes. So it cuts my processing time down about a third of the time. And it can even enhance your shades. So the Hypercolor is 98% vegetable oil, absolutely natural. It has olive oil in there as a protection around the pigments. So when the heat source is applied, because you do need to use heat with the Hypercolor for the processing to diminish in about a third of the time. But so the olive oil is like a protection around those pigments, delivered in when the heat source is applied, and giving you a little bit of a faster processing time, well, an ample amount. But if you use it in your formula without the heat source, you can add additional shine. So 1 to 2 drops into your formulation will help with that shine if you do it without heat. But if you add it for your application with heat, you're going to see a faster processing time. So it's a great tool for those of you that are booked, especially now coming up towards the holidays. This is you're going to get out of each bottle, these are small bottles, but up to 70 or more applications. So that's quite a bit. It's a perfect tool for you that you need to get your clients in. They may be on their lunch break and really love spending time with you, but need to get back to work. It's a perfect tool. So here's a chart for you. So this is how to use it properly in order to cut your processing time to a third. So in step 1, you're going to mix your Hcolor formula. Let's say you're using a 6.0. You would put 6.0 in your bowl and then add the Hypercolor. So for the Hypercolor, let's say you have 30 milliliters of your Hcolor formula. From there, you're going to add 5 drops of the Hypercolor. 90 milliliters, 15 drops. 120 milliliters, 20 drops. And if you need 180 milliliters of your Hcolor, you're going to have 30 drops. Then, step 2, you mix in the activator. So you're going to measure your activator, equal it to what's the Hcolor and Hypercolor. So you're going to mix the color and the Hypercolor, then add your developer. So step 3, add the 10 to 12 holes in a processing cap and put that over your client's head. And step 4, they're going to process under low heat and for the minimized time. So mixing 5 drops to every ounce of color, if that's how you formulate, is in ounces. This gives you that, and otherwise if you're doing milliliters, you can consider 30 milliliters equals 5 drops. So 30 milliliters and 1 ounce match. But it does not include your activator amount. So the other key to this is after they're done under the low heat dryer that they've been under, you're going to need them to cool for about 5 minutes. So, and that is your full processing. And those are the directions to use Hypercolor successfully. So let's talk about post-color tools. Neutralizing and conditioning using the H-Balance shampoo. pH is perfect at a 4.0, 5.0. It's going to rebalance the pH after the hair color, and it'll just prolongs your color and shine, because now you've been able to successfully close the cuticle, allowing a lot of bounce and light to shine off of that hair fiber. So, and it's also treating the hair, giving improvements to the hair fiber in itself. So this is a beautiful alkaline. We'd only use this after alkaline treatments. And it's a specific shampoo really used for after coloring, decoloring, and it's got antioxidative effects as well. So now we move to the H-Balance mask. It's going to restore to the correct pH and add special conditioning and detangling treatment to the hair. It's an intensive restorative and moisturizing mask. I suggest you leave this mask in, though, for 3 to 5 minutes before rinsing out. So the Hnectar, it's a color fusion. This is a totally different breed altogether. The nectar is an infusion improving hair softness and brightness. It's a voluptuous color nectar that takes advantage of the ability of the sugars to increase cell hydration and slows down the aging process. Through the affinity within the hair cells, green sugars such as sucrose, glucose, and fructose contained in the nectar complex of the biodynamic elderberry, organic mallow, and papamil are able to capture water molecules for them to fill in the areas without hydration and be stowed in reserves. Thereby, they're favoring a long-term softness, shininess, and youth to that hair. So it's a beautifying color nectar, no ammonia, no no PPDs, no resorcinol, no mineral oil, alcohol, or perfumes. These are from the purest ingredients of nature to the purest color infusion you can use in the salon for a coloring treatment. It's very delicate. It's a perfect formula. I'll give you some ideas for targeting your customers. But first, let's talk about some of the Hnectar active ingredients. So we've got the elderberry. It's a biodynamic nectar. It makes the hair bright, shiny, and it actually allows the hair to no longer look dull or lifeless. It adds a lot of beautiful, rich substance and brightness to the hair. The organic mallow nectar, that's more of a soothing, anti-inflammatory, and softening ingredient. It's got the polysaccharides, and when they come into the skin, they form more of a film that protects from external agents and allows for the reduction of any skin dehydration. It helps you regenerate the skin, and it reduces any irritations, and it has an anti-inflammatory action. So that's a big one. Now the papamil nectar, it actually works as regenerating the function of the cells in the upper epidermis. And it's got the high concentration of sugars here, so it favors hydration and provides a lot of comfort to your client. It's got a lot of minerals, amino acids, vitamins, essential oils, and it really revives the hair, making it very shiny and soft. The yerba mate, scientific studies have actually confirmed that this one is a sweeper of free radicals, and it's responsible for cell oxidation, and it's composed of a high percentage of caffeine, and the most important of which is some of the natural oxidant herbs, and it breaks down the oxidation chains and actually halts the spreading of free radicals, protecting the cell DNA. So protecting against oxidative and endogenous stresses, it's going to help with that cell vitality, and it really is preventing from aging. Now we'll talk about the cotton proteins here. It's going to give softness once again and nourishing effects to the hair. And the date oil, once again, it nourishes and restores balance. So it's going to help the hair fiber and restructuring it too. So this Hnectar color is a permanent hair color line as well. It took out a lot of the PPD and all of the resorcinol and ammonia, and it's a different class all to its own. Now you can get lift from this. It's got 34 permanent ammonia-free shades. So it is not a demi line. It is an oil in a nice glass bottle. But it can give you up to 3 levels of lift here while actually restructuring the hair and giving a lot of shine and moisture. So being ammonia-free, typically people think this is going to be a very demi, but this nectar-based color treatment is a permanent hair color fusion, and but it will give you more of a blending of gray or white hair. I've used this on a few clients, and each time they come back to me telling me that probably it's most likely because of the antioxidant and the color fusion, but they're saying that they feel and their hair looks like they've lost 10 years. So I'm definitely in the business of taking 10 years off of anyone's look. So it keeps us all happy and in good business in our spa practices. So this is a beautiful add to your salon color. But here's the way to use it. You've got the nourishing phytobutter developers you can use with this, whether it's 20, 30, or 40. If you're just using it on the regrowth, you would get 1 to 3 levels of lift depending on which activator you use, and the timing is 15 to 20 minutes. Now for gray blending, you can also use the 20, 30, or 40 1-to-1 ratio. The mix for Hnectar is always 1-to-1, and if you're toning, that's when you want to use more of a visual look to it. So you maybe 7 to 15 minutes depending on what your final result that you're after. So once again, it is going to do more of camouflage to any gray or white hair, but a beautiful, lots and lots of shine, anti-aging effects, bright camouflage color. It plumps the hair and gives it a lot of hydration. So you can lighten up to 2 to 3 tones while also respecting that hair fiber. So it's a very pure, botanical, permanent color infusion with integrated hair lifting. So depending on what catalyst you use. Here's for tone on tone, once again, 1-to-1 always. Typically, I make sure to use, I typically use the Hnectar at a 30-minute timing. So processing time is typically 30 minutes for the Hnectar. But if you're looking at it as a tone on tone, that's when you're going to want to change that up a little bit. And so we've given you these charts to use. So here are some tips. Gray blending up to 30% over white hair. You're going to apply the desired shade. And then if you're gray blending over 30% of white hair, you would use the natural base color at that same level, and you can add in other tones such as your gold tones to fill in what you're lacking at that white, coarse, resistant hair. You want to make sure you apply it evenly, and after development, you would go ahead and rinse it out. You will want to emulsify this. It is more of an oil base, so making sure to just add a small amount of that lukewarm water, really emulsify before you, and make sure that the water rinses to clear before adding your H-Balance shampoo. So the other tip to this that I wanted to mention is when you apply this, for example, I used an 8.0 natural base and I added 8.3. I was looking to blend a white hair regrowth, and I used those in equal parts, 8.0 and 8.3 with 20 volume Hcatalyst. Now, when it went on the hair, it does look very dark. So do not be alarmed. I still made sure I left it on the hair for 30 minutes, processing time. No heat was necessary, but it did look dark on the hair. But when it was rinsed and emulsified and I used the H-Balance shampoo and conditioned with the H-Balance mask to bring the pH level back down from roots to ends, it was the most beautiful color result ever. That hair was shiny. My client was extremely happy and said to please always use this Hnectar on me. I just love the way my hair feels. So just remember, it could look a little dark as it's working, but it will be the most perfect tone ever, the most gorgeous color you've ever worked with, the permanent color infusion. So here we have the Hcolor and Hnectar, the 2 color options, permanent color options offered by Organic Way. The Hcolor will give you 100% white or gray coverage to the hair. Comes in 95 intermixable shades, that's including the boosters. And it is a nourishing cream based in a 3.4 ounce tube. So the difference here is the Hnectar has 34 shades. It gives more of a translucent kind of camo coverage to the hair when you're using it over white or gray hair. It's a nectar base line, and it comes in a 2.0 bottle, so it's an oil base. So I want to thank you all for joining today. It's such a feel-good brand. I'm very thankful to be offering this on behalf of Simply Organic Beauty. We're truly the pioneers in offering only the best and clean professional beauty products to those of you in the industry. And so I hope that this color training of the line has really sparked something inside of you, and I look forward to really working more and talking with all of you more and offering more educational webinars over the next year or more. So please feel free to write us or call us here. Your account managers, if you have accounts with us already, are always happy to assist you as well. And our number here on the screen is 888-213-4744. You can always reach out to us, and we'd be happy to share ingredients with you, and we always believe in transparency here. So make sure you ask. And we also wanted to make sure that you knew some of our package deals. We've got the Explorer, the Pioneer, and the Trendsetter package. So feel free to ring us, and we can give you some pricing on that and talk to you about the options of really joining us and partnering with the Organic Way hair color offered to you by Simply Organic Beauty, changing the salons for the better. So thank you for your time on this busy afternoon, and we look forward to hearing more from you. Have a great day. Happy coloring.